Hey there, party people. This is your girl TC Mason, and you're here tuning in to the Beautiful Weirdo Life. And life stands for learning instruction from everyday experience. So here we talk about mental health, fitness, and happiness, the pursuit of happiness. And of course, guess what time it is? I'm about to make some food right quick while we talk and we discuss how to deal with the other woman. Bonus families and Jada Pinkett Smith's new show on Facebook called Red Table Talks. So I'm excited. You guys, save this to your timeline just in case you need to pop off or pop back in and share it with people that you know. But we're going to talk about blended families and all that good stuff, dealing with the other woman, all that good stuff. And I hope you guys are ready. And so I'm going to get started. But before, let's go through the ingredients that we're going to cook first. Well, actually, I did a whole bunch of preparation for a little bit. But here we are, cauliflower rice. So we're going to make like a little Mexican bowl because I'm still on my Cinco de Mayo tip. So we're going to use this cauliflower rice. Okay. I use some black beans. You can just get a can of black beans. Smoked paprika. If you don't know anything about smoked paprika, it's awesome. Smoked paprika, ground cumin, some parsley, a little bit of olive oil. Okay, so as we talk, I'm going to be putting together this bowl. So I'm going to put this in. You only have to put this in for what? Because you just put this in the bag. And I think it's like for 2 minutes or so. Let's see. Oh, 4 to 5 minutes. So I'm going to put this in 4 to 5 minutes in the microwave. And then we're going to get going, okay? All right. So let's get into it. All right. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Red Table Talk, but it's a show that just launched. Jada Pinkett Smith launched it, and they talk about different stories. It's with her daughter Willow and her mother. Okay, and this episode, the launching of the show was just awesome. If you haven't tuned into it, I encourage you to look at it because I know that I'm not the only person, and it felt good to know that I'm not the only person who has dealt with as I quoted, the other woman. Actually, I talked about the other woman in my book. It's on page 99, and it's called The Other Woman. And what is so amazing is that, I married into 3 children. So I've been married for, almost 7 years. So I married into 3 children, and I didn't have any. All I had was a cat, George. I still have George, by the way. All I had was a cat. And so when I came into the marriage, I'm a mental health therapist. I came in like, hey, you know what? I've been helping foster children all my life, accept adjustments, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make sure that everybody is healthy because I am a social worker and I know how to do this. You see my face? Do you see my face? That's how I came in. I had no idea, no clue, because like Jada said, I actually thought, my husband and his ex-wife had been divorced for I think a couple of years or so. And I'm like, that's done, man. She is done, How she chose to navigate the relationship so that it ended. I'm like, yeah, she done, She stepped out. It's done. I had no idea. So when we were dating, I didn't have any problems. In fact, even when we were dating, I was like, hey, we should all get together. We should all talk. Because I already knew he was going to marry me. I already knew that. That's a whole other side. I already knew that. But I was like, let's all get together. Let's come on the same page. And I think that, just aside, that when you are moving forward in a direction where it's going to be a bit serious, you should start introducing the person to the mother or the bio family. I just think that you should. They should know who their child is going to be around. And they should kind of a little bit feel comfortable. That's my thoughts of it. But she wasn't feeling that at all. Because although it was done legally, she wasn't done. Not done at all. So that happened. And so towards the end, but that whole time I'm still in my brain like, I can do this, because you know what? Everybody likes me. Everybody likes me. You know, I'm a good person. I do the best for people. Yeah. So it became all about me, like, hey, I can do this. I can make her like me. And then I already knew about Jada, and I already knew about Cherie. So they were already like my role models. Like, hey, this is what's going to happen. We're going to come together. And because it's the best interest of the kids that all the adults are on the same page, it's going to work out. It didn't work out like that. It didn't work out like that at all. She was not having it. It is still not having it. It has been like it's been like 7 years. And so what I realized from actually watching the Red Table Talk is that I think that I definitely was naive in coming into the situation thinking that it was done just because the legality of the divorce was final. You know, it wasn't done. And it wasn't done simply because they didn't decide for it to be done, or she didn't decide for it to be done. And so when people feel like they are not in control, they use what they can control. And in this situation, what she could control was the children. And that's the part that's like, And I always tell people, even when I counsel children who have gone through their parents divorcing, when I counsel the parents, I said, look, if the parents are okay, the kids will be fine. If y'all get y'all stuff together, they'll be fine. Like, you create the framework for whether a divorce could be seen in a positive light, or you create the framework for it to be like murderous, or just, you create it. So, needless to say, things didn't work out like I planned them to work out. I mean, I have talked with her. I have I'm talking about bent over, backwards, and all that stuff. But when a person isn't ready, I think at some point you have to respect their right to not want to be in that type of relationship with you, even if it is for the best of their children. I think that when we talk about blended families, when we talk about the other woman, it takes maturity on all sides, because the boundary that needs to take place is, okay, there was a past relationship, right? So that's past romantic stuff, all right? And then once the separation of that relationship happens, then now that relationship, there's a boundary there that it should be strictly mommy and daddy stuff, so that you're not bringing in that old relationship stuff. And that stuff takes work, because it's easy for it to filter over, and that person does something that triggers that past relationship stuff, and you just like, forget that mommy daddy stuff. Forget that. It's about me. So people got to deal with their own issues and their own stuff. And so that whole red table talk, whatever it's called, was just awesome. It's awesome. And it's a situation that I still deal with today, because my children are, what are they? One is 21, about to be 21. The other one just turned 17, and the other is he's about to turn 14, like this weekend. And so a lot of the stuff that people have to deal with is their stuff. And people don't take the time to deal with their stuff, and then it infiltrates the relationship with their children. And so here are some quick tips that I use, or that I've used throughout this experience. Let me go get my cauliflower rice right quick. Okay, so this is what we did before I do my quick tips. Cauliflower rice, right? And then we have the black beans. Remember, we're making a little rice bowl, but we're not using rice. We're using cauliflower, a vegetable. Smoked paprika, the ground cumin, and what is this? Parsley. I put all that stuff in the black beans. That makes it taste really good. So the quick tips that I have as it relates to being in a relationship or a dynamic of a blended family is, one, have conversations. Like, if you can have conversations before situations, like, it's almost the same as just sitting down and mapping out what it looks like. What does it look like if your mate starts to date somebody else? What do you guys agree upon in terms of introduction? Stuff like that. An agreement in terms of discipline. And that's a big one, because I was in a situation because of discipline. And there are some whole other law things that go along with that. And what I found, although there are certain laws or statutes that say that step parents can discipline their children, they aren't held up. There are laws that are not held up. Like, there's this societal view that the step parent is the wicked step parent. And that has to do with the culture of, Snow White, Cinderella, all these things that emphasize that if the person is not your mother, then they have to treat you like trash. So it's all that stuff, but having conversations. And I think also, after you have these relationships that end, you need to get yourself in therapy so that you can be able to separate what is your stuff from the mommy and daddy stuff. So you don't use your children as pawns. Like, it's crazy in these streets. I mean, I have sessions with people. I have my own experience where parents berate the other parent in front of the child. I don't care what the parent is doing. And I mean this. I don't care what the parent is doing. It's your job to protect the identity of, or the role of the parent. The role of the parent. It's your job to allow the child to make their own decision about how they feel about their parent. It's not your job to berate a father, a mother in front of them, because you are skewing. You're going to have a direct effect on how they feel about their parent, which may be your stuff. I hate that. So the second thing is, my husband and I, we've never, and I mean never, we've never said anything about our children's mom. Never. Those conversations are between closed doors. I got my friends I can go to if I need to talk and she getting on my nerves. I have my crisis team. Yes, I do. I have my crisis team. I have my friends and family on. If I need to call them and have a venting session, that's who you go to. You do not vent and berate the parent in front of your child, man. And I don't care what they do. Allow them to see and make their own decision without your influence. And that's a big piece of the divorce piece, the separation of relationships that gets in the way of so much. And that piece right there is so important. Now, I can say that the other woman in my book, you need to get my book too. I can say the other woman in my book berated me, said stuff about me. And what happens is, when you go to discipline them, that stuff that you've put in them, those seeds that you've sown, so when the other person goes to discipline them, that stuff comes out. They like, what? You ain't my mother, you all this or whatever. But if you would have formed a united front together, like, hey, what goes over here, not, oh, well, he'll let you do that over there? Well, we're going to let you do that over here, just so you can have control or power. And that really stems from insecurity, because you're not secure within your position. Like, if you're the mother, you're the mother. You don't have to do extra. You will always have that place. You don't have to, but that's what it is. But so that's my other piece. Do not berate the parent. Your goal is to protect the identity, the role of that other parent. So if you have issues, you discuss it with the parent. You discuss it with an adult outside, not in front of the children. That's separate. You don't bring them into that. You just don't do it. So that's my thing. And I'm going to make this bowl right quick. And if you guys have any other comments or any other things, feel free to drop them down. Share this to your timeline. Save it, share it with friends, people who have gone through divorce and all that stuff. If you notice your friends and family talking about their baby daddy, baby mama, or whatever in front of their kids, put them to the side and say, hey, I know you think this is cool, but you're really hurting this child because pieces of them are inside of them. Like they're, they love their parents and there are pieces of them inside of them and you just messing up. So tell them that. Tell them. Right? All right. I'm going to finish talking because I'm hungry. So we're going to take this cauliflower rice, get you, I would say like 1/2 cup. 1/2 cup. And because you have seasoned your black beans, you don't even really need a lot. So, whoops, I just dropped that. I just put 1/4 cup of black beans on top. And then I had sauteed a little bit of peppers, sauteed peppers. And you put your peppers right over there. It looks so pretty, doesn't it? And that olive oil, I have put the sauteed the peppers in olive oil. And to top it off, you add just a little bit of salsa, okay? All right, we're going to add a little bit of salsa. And yes, it's the economy size because I got like 6 people in here. Don't judge me, okay? And then you just put a little bit. Now, if you want to add cheese, you can. I'm not going to add cheese, but you can add a little bit of cheese to give it a little pop and call it a day. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And you add a little cheese on the top. And it's not rice, it's cauliflower. So pretty much this is a whole veggie bowl with your black beans, okay? So just a recap as it concerns you dealing with the other woman. Be sure of your boundaries, have honest conversations. Do not berate the parent in front of one another. Try to establish clear boundaries of what is your past relationship and what is mommy daddy business. Mommy daddy business is everything just concerning the children. Like if it's not concerning the children, do you really need to have a discussion about it? That's the question to ask. So those are my tips. And again, if you want to find out more about my personal story about dealing with the other woman, that's what I called her because I felt like she was trying to control from the outside her children or have control in our family because of her own insecurities. And I still feel that way today. Still feel that way. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go around berating her in front of her children. I'm just not going to do it. So it's found in The Making of a Beautiful Weirdo. You can get that from my website, www.shopbeautifulweirdo.com. And again, my name is TC Mason. Thank you for tuning in to The Beautiful Life, conversations about mental health, fitness, and happiness. And we did our little lunch talk, and we're done. Ooh, that just, yeah, we're done. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was good. I'll talk to you soon.